y'all doing? It's me, Delores, your favorite late night writer, okay? I mean, it's late for me, or early, however you want to look at it. It's 2:10 in the morning. It's Sunday morning, December the 11th, 2026. And we're up, child. We're up and we're writing, and we are putting some great things out into the world this year. Let me go ahead and get the music started. So y'all, oh, I got a little update for y'all too. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on the lo-fi music, per usual. Okay, we'll continue with the same vibes and flow and all that stuff. So we've got that on. And as usual, you guys, let me know in the chat what you're working on. I'm your accountability partner. You're my accountability partner. So, as long as we know what each other is doing, kind of loosely, we could just be like, hey, girl, how's your book going? How's your poetry going? Just something to, kind of familiarize ourselves with each other and what we're trying to accomplish. So, if you feel like it, put it in the chat and let us know. We sending you some good creative vibes and good energy for this session. And just to give you guys just a little lay of the land, if you're new here, we do 15-minute writing stints, and so we write for 50 minutes, for 10 minutes. Oh shoot, speaking of which, okay, for 10 minutes we do some type of movement. Usually I get right here on this vibration plate and I'll talk to y'all and let y'all know what I did, any type of information I got, anything good I want to tell y'all, I'll tell y'all during those breaks. So it's a quiet stream, so for 50 minutes we're not talking or anything like that, but you're welcome to put, if you have any questions or comments or anything, you're welcome to put that in the chat. And then on our breaks, then we'll take a look at it. We'll chat and talk about whatever you had in whatever you put in the chat. I say breaks, but they're not really breaks. It's a movement break, right? So instead of like just sitting still for long periods of time, we get up, kind of shake it out a little bit. So for these 10-minute breaks or movement breaks, you can dance, if you have a vibration plate, you get on yours. It's easy because it's set for 10 minutes. That's why I like to do it too. Plus, I just really like this vibration plate, but it makes it easy when the timer goes off in 10 minutes anyway. So yeah, and what I usually do is just go to another screen once we get ready and do a 50-minute countdown, so we stay, kind of stay on task as far as our timeline is concerned. Because I think it's important for us to be productive, but it's also important for us to keep our bodies moving, not just sit sedentary for too long. So that helps me because I have fibromyalgia pain and lupus and stuff, and to get up and move does my body good. So I'm hoping that it does your body good too. Oh yeah, okay, so let me tell y'all what came in the mail today, y'all. Okay, so y'all know we have these labs, the Tell Your Truth Daughter labs, right? These are live writing sessions. Guess what came in the mail today? Hold on. And y'all, this is kind of dark, okay? I didn't know it was gonna be this dark, but this is the Tell Your Truth Daughter, the very first. This is part 1. Let me move this light up so y'all can see this a little bit better. So this is part 1 of the series. It's a 3-part series, the Tell Your Truth Daughter series. And this one is how to write the memoir you were never meant to tell. So this is the first part of the Tell Your Truth Daughter series. So I wanted to go ahead and get like some hard copies of this book, but once you join the community, then this will be something that you have a digital copy of. So this is it's even got lines in here, so as you're getting prompts and as I'm telling you really good information on how to write your memoir, you can begin to write right here in the book. So you can say it's a workbook, but it's really awesome. I didn't know that it was going to come out quite this dark. Otherwise, I would have lightened it up a little bit more. So I don't know. Maybe for future copies, I might lighten it. I don't know, but this is it, y'all, and I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to show y'all some of what is in here, because this is really going to help a lot of you who are ready to write your memoir, to really kind of streamline your process, be intentional. I don't know why I said intentional. Anyway, be intentional about your writing, about your process, the message that you want to get out, the healing work that you'll be doing also in the process, So this book is really going to help walk you through that whole process. And by the end of the 3-part series, you'll have a complete system for writing your book, publishing your book, and promoting your book. And so this is great, you guys. I'm really excited about that. I'm not gonna go for a whole 10 minutes on this. We'll wait for our break, and then I'll go the whole 10 minutes because I'm really ready to go ahead and get started. I've kind of started working on something called the Decision Audit, and so I've been putting that together for you guys. I just y'all, and is another thing I'm excited to tell y'all about, but I'm working on it right now, trying to get it where it needs to be for y'all. But it's available now. In fact, I think I already have the link is already in the description, but what I'm going to do is put it in the chat as well, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat. And again, you guys, let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're creating. And so yeah, now it's in the chat, so you could click that link and get the Decision Audit, so you could stop spiraling and start making decisions. And it says here, if you're stuck between two choices and exhausted from thinking about it, I made a decision audit to help you stop spiraling and make one clear decision. And that link is right there in the chat. Okay, you guys. So go ahead and grab that, and then let me know how that helps you. How that help you to streamline your decision making process to actually make a clear decision. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen, and then let me turn this down. Y'all remember, we always have to turn it down because that ticker is kind of loud. So we'll turn that down, and then okay. Let me see. They've got this new feature on here, and I wanna try it and see. Okay, never mind. It's not letting me change anything right now since we're already live. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and I got about 3 minutes left. I'm ready to go ahead and get started. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Again, in the chat, let me know what you're working on, and let's get to writing. Hey y'all, what's going on? Y'all hanging in there? How you doing? Let me see. Okay. Oop. Nope, not okay. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me mute. I need to blow my nose. Hold on. All right, y'all, I'm back. How was that? How was that last session? It was good for me. I think I got a lot of you know, good ideas, some good flow going. Sort of making sense of some things. See, I was telling y'all this before. Because I'm a writer, because I'm a creator. I think I'm a serial creator. That's a such thing. So I'll create a bunch of stuff, but me actually putting it out, that's the part where there's a little bit of a disconnect, I think. So I've been working on that, because it's like I'm one of those that's like, okay, everything has to be like in a specific order, and it has to be right, and it has to, the timeline and all this other stuff, and and it ends up being, to my detriment to be like that, So I'm really, really working on that, like really working on it. So, but so when I was working just then, this last session, I got like some really good guidance, some good vision of where I want to go. So that's a really good thing. So what are y'all doing? Like, what do y'all do for your movement break? Are y'all taking a break? Y'all know y'all supposed to be taking a break, right? You're supposed to do 50 minutes of focused work, people, okay? And 10 minutes of movement, okay? So I need y'all to get up. Or you can stay seated. You can do some chair exercises. They've got like these chair ab exercises and stuff. Like, do those, okay? Like, just do some type of movement, okay? And then let me know in the chat what you're working on. So I started going through this book again, and I think I want to do an in-person writing lab. So that's why I got this printed off, even though I have it in PDF form too. But I want to do an in-person writing lab. I think that's gonna be like so dope. So I also want to put that together. I would say like probably by the end of first quarter. So, but like maybe like March, end of March, beginning of April time frame. That might be good. You know what I'm saying? The beginning of spring. You know what I'm saying? Then the girls will be ready then. They'll be ready to start writing their books then, won't y'all? Will y'all be ready then? Y'all got a little time to get ready, child. Okay? I already got these printed off for you. These are workbooks. So I've already got these printed off. And then there's two more parts. This is a 3-part series. And as you can see, this is already, like, this is not like just a couple pages. Like, this is really gonna help you to write your memoir. And I'm gonna give you guys a copy of my my outline, and that's really gonna help you all out too. So I got some really good stuff in the works. But so I think it's gonna be great, you guys. This year is going to be great for us. Especially if we keep doing these intentional sessions, right? Because if y'all are hanging in there, y'all doing these sessions, see, I want to get to the point where I'm doing them at least 5 nights a week, at least the weeknights. Ideally, I think ideally every day. You know, I write every day, so it really wouldn't be that big of a deal to just go live and do it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I want to definitely keep those up, but y'all, for y'all's purposes, you know what I mean? Y'all can just do it 5 nights a week if that's what works best for y'all, you know. And then of course, you know, you can go back and you know, turn these sessions on even if it's not live, and just, you know, have it on in the background, kind of have it like as white noise, you know. It's gonna give you the same effect, you know, because it's not gonna be that important whether I'm, you know, live or not, that you catch it at the exact moment that I'm live, you know. You can still get the benefits, okay, y'all, if you do it after the fact too. Okay, so that means y'all can go back in these previous lives and just, you know, turn them on and just, you know, press play, start writing, do the 50 minutes, you know, just like I'm gonna, you know, just like I do on every video, and then do your 10 minutes of movement. And before you know it, you're gonna have a whole book written before you know it. Especially if you're sticking to, if you're making these intentional, you know, like maybe you have somewhat of a plan together, or as you progress into a plan that starts to really make sense for you, like a rhythm, you know. And then, you know, as you progress, you'll eventually start giving yourself like deadlines, like, okay, during these sessions, like this month, this is what I want to accomplish. You know, I want to get, you know, I want to go through it, and then I just want to write. And then, you know, the next session, like let's say you do this in quarters, right? So first quarter, you're just writing, okay? You just write. You don't edit. You don't think about it. You don't filter yourself. You don't sugarcoat anything. You just write, okay? So let's say you do that for the first quarter of this year, right? And then next quarter, your intention is to then go back and give it a first round of edits or something, you know. And then the next quarter, you know, have someone look at it, go back and start working on your structure, start, you know, taking things out of the book, start streamlining like your stories, or, you know, organizing things the way they make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have different goals that you'd like to accomplish each quarter, or, you know, for a specific time. Like maybe you do it month by month, week by week. Child, I don't know. Whatever works for you, girl. You know, do what works, but do. You know what I'm saying? Like, do at the end of the day. Do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about this, and, you know, everything that I have been really working towards. You know, I think I was like really hard on myself about certain things, feeling like I've been scatterbrained, or I've been just kind of like too afraid to actually put my work out there. Because I mean, even though I have books out there, I'm an international best-selling author, you know, from my very first memoir, and, you know, even though all of those, you know, I've accomplished that, I still, you know, have a bit of fear when it comes to my, you know, intellectual property. You know what I mean? Like things that I've created, experiences that I had, you know, because it's very personal to me too, you know. Because I put a bit of myself in the work that I'm creating to help other people, you know. So there's still that element there of, you know, putting a bit of myself in there, and then just, you know, presenting my work like, okay, this is what I've created, you know, and then, you know, seeing how it really helps people, and you know, seeing the transformation and all of that stuff. I mean, it's just like, it's a little bit of a, you know, like a little pressure, you know, but like just trying to navigate that, because I know a lot of the pressure that I feel is in my own head, you know. It's me doing it to me, you know what I mean? Like, it gets a little, like, it can get a little self-sabotagey, you know what I'm saying? So I have to use, you know, a good bit of discernment in you know, my everyday life and my everyday decisions, And that's why I really want to normalize discernment on every level. So when I guess that's where I'm thinking I'm a bit scattered, but like you're going to use discernment in every area of your life. So am I really scattered when I talk about all the different areas of our lives, when my core message and the the essentially what I'm teaching is discernment. That's the foundation of everything that I'm doing. So that's where I guess I be feeling like I'm hard on myself. But when I really start to think about it, it's not really justified for me to be that hard on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I'm actually really right on track. So I have to just give myself that grace. And then, the grace of like realizing that as I've been, creating, I've been going through my own healing journey, like this has been healing for me. And as I'm healing, I'm writing down my process. I'm writing down what I've had to do. Because prior to this, like when I just did my research on, daughters who are going through the same things that I went through, everybody has a different process, but everybody feels like they're alone, that they're just missing community and they doubt themselves. And those are the two things that I know that I can provide is, help with your discernment so that you can stop doubting yourself, you can start trusting yourself again, and community. I can bring women together, discerning women, so that we can come together and support each other in that journey. And those are the two things that was like, that's my thing, So, all right, y'all, let's get back started. Our 10 minutes is up, honey. So here we are again. Let me go back, make sure I got that started exactly where it needs to be. All right, y'all, let's get back writing. we are back at it. Oh no, well, back on our break. Back to have a little chit chat about what just happened in that last session. All right, how was that last session for y'all? How was it? How did y'all do? It was great for me, you guys. It was great. Okay, because after the last time we talked, I had another idea, and I just created a what I call the decision audit. As you guys know, I am a discerner, and that's what I help daughters do, to make decisions, to stop spiraling, to stop second guessing themselves, to trust themselves. And sometimes you just need a little bit of a framework, right? You just need something to help you streamline your decision making process. You just need to ask yourself a series of questions, guided questions, where it's like, okay, by the time I'm done answering, let's say there's 5 questions, now I know, and I'm more confident, and I have more clarity about the decision that I need to make. And so I had already created the decision audit, which is, you guys have a link to that decision audit already in the chat. But I wanted to create one that was specific for people who are who have the challenge of deciding whether to cut contact, to limit contact, or what they need to do about a toxic parent in their lives. You guys know I've been talking heavily about, and really that's why I ended up here, on social media and talking about my story, because of the relationship, the toxic dynamic that I had with my father, who is still alive, still a pastor. And I dealt with abuse and all of that growing up. But before I decided to cut my father off, I had identified what he was doing. I was able to put a name to what he was doing in the church, which was spiritual abuse. He was spiritually abusing the members, which was us, his own family members, and then, other people who had become members of the church. And so I decided, from all of that stuff that was going on, that I wanted, that it was necessary for me to cut my father off. And there was a lot of reasons, that I had listed. I had to list those things for myself as reasons why I needed to make this decision. And, essentially, I believe that it was killing me to stay in a relationship with him, and to maintain contact with him, to still allow him access to my, to me and in my life. And so for me, it felt like a life and death situation. And so based on that, I started to, write down and start to keep records. I kept recordings, documents, all of the things that I needed to help ease the guilt, that I felt for cutting my father off, or for even thinking about doing it, for thinking about leaving the church, and just really for putting myself first in the decision to prioritize my health, spiritually, physically, financially, in all the ways. And so, like, I eventually, after years and years and years of really, like, toiling over this decision, I finally made the decision. And of course it wasn't easy, and it's come with its challenges, and it continues to be a challenge, to be honest, because everything in you doesn't want it to be this way. I think some people who don't really know, who have never had a toxic parent, who don't know that dynamic of experiencing abuse, even into adulthood, they'll never really be able to grasp and appreciate the anguish, the absolute anguish you feel for just even thinking about, much less actually making the decision, but just even thinking about the decision, is like, it just like tortures your whole soul. It's like everything in you doesn't want it to be this way. And really everything in me, like, I just tried everything I knew to try, to make things better, to make him better, you know. But it was self-sacrificing, you know. It was at my own expense that I was trying to, you know, be there for my father and help my father and help him see and just talk and just pray about it and just have faith and just fast and, you know, and all the things that, you know, the Bible tells you to do. And all the things that spiritual abusers tell you to do, to avoid taking accountability and responsibility and changing their behavior. And, you know, so, you know, I went through all of that, and I know that it's a very hard decision for daughters to make, for, you know, for sons to make too. But, you know, my specific message is for daughters, because I am a daughter. You know, I know intimately what that's like to be a daughter, and I'm the only daughter too. So, you know, I feel this, you know, this pressure to be there, you know, for both of my parents, but specifically we're talking about my father. But, you know, I felt this pressure to be there for him. I'm his only girl, you know. And um, I, you know, fully anticipated growing up that I would, you know, take care of my father into his old age like any good daughter would do, you know, that I'd be there and I would support his ministry and everything that he does like any good daughter would do, you know. And but, you know, I wasn't getting I wasn't getting that in return, you know. And and it, you know, severely compromised my health, you know, my mental health, my physical health, financial health, spiritual health. Did I say spiritual already? Y'all know what I mean. It just affected everything, everything. And that's what it does. And I'm a daughter who understands that, you know, and who doesn't mind speaking up about it, you know. I think probably the some things that I have working in my on my behalf is, you know, that I'm very articulate, I'm educated, you know, I'm a nationally certified counselor. Um, you know, I have a master's degree in counseling. And so that has really helped me in giving my voice validity, because there are a lot of daughters out there who are discredited, you know. But and my father tried. He tried to discredit me, but he just couldn't. I just had too many accolades, too many accomplishments that, you know, he just couldn't even, it was like he just couldn't discredit those things, you know. Um, and then you see someone in me who was who will readily and easily admit, yeah, I have daddy issues. I have things that I have, you know, that I deal with it that, you know, stem from my childhood. And a lot of people aren't in a place where they can admit that, you know, and admit that and stand 10 toes down in it. Like I stand on that, you know, that has happened to me, and that it is still affects my life today. It still affects my health today. I truly believe that the traumatic experiences that I had in childhood are what has made me sick today, what has caused my body to break down and for me to develop fibromyalgia and lupus. And I believe that those stem from my childhood experiences. And no, I'm not just blaming my father, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, you know, just trying to throw all of this stuff on his shoulders, you know, but that was my foundation. And that's where, you know, a lot of the dysfunction that I grew up with, like it was built on him, you know, like he built that, you know, and that's just a reality of it. But I'm well aware, and what I teach and preach to daughters today is that that happened to you and it's unfortunate and it sucks. Part of that is calling it out, calling it what it is. But the main thing that you're gonna have to do is take responsibility, like take control of your health, of your sanity. You have to. It's on you. You know, it's on you to heal. Um, you may never get an apology. You may never get an acknowledgement. And you know what I got in response to me speaking out and, you know, writing a book about my experiences with my father was you know, I got blasted across the pulpit on social media, you know, from him. He wrote a book in response to my book, you know, like what the world, you know what I'm saying? Yo, like what in the whole, what the entire F, you know what I mean? You know how people say, like, who does that? You know, who inflicts abuse on their child, and when their child speaks out about it, they respond by writing their own book. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna write my own book and just discredit her book. You know what I mean? Like, at least he tried to, you know. But that's the experience that I had, and I pray that a lot of daughters don't ever have to experience that. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of daughters have experienced worse. And the last thing that I want, the last thing that last like it was something that I hated, was that I felt alone in my journey. I felt like, are there any other daughters out here who have discernment, who can see through these things, and who, first of all, just needs to be vindicated? You know what I'm saying? Who just needs to know that she's not crazy, that there's other daughters who have experienced it, and that who can validate like your viewpoint. It's just like, does anybody else have discernment out there? Like, I don't want someone who's just coming from a place of like, they're just like religious and just honor your father and your mother, and why are you speaking out, and keep it private, and like, no, like, don't give me that. Don't give me that. I've been doing that, and it hasn't helped. It hasn't helped at all. Thank you very much. And I'm at this point in my journey where I'm gonna speak out. I want to speak out, and this is a milestone in my journey that I will, conquer. I will accomplish, what needs to be accomplished, and I need to speak out. That's what the logical next step is for me. And I want to have a community of daughters who have discernment too, are not just trying to shut me up, but understand that part of this journey is telling the truth, speaking it, writing it, journaling it, finding a community that will hear you, not in a sense of like trauma dumping or like, trauma bonding, because like trauma and those types of things, they do attract more abusive people, more manipulators, more deceivers. So we're not trying to create an atmosphere of that. We don't want nothing that we're doing to turn toxic. So we want to make sure that we are, linked up with a group of other daughters who have discernment, who are, genuinely on this journey of, improving, transforming their health, and turning their pain into something that ends up profiting them one day. So that's all I have for today, you guys. Let me know in the chat, what are you writing, what are you working on, how are these sessions helping you? If they're helping you, go ahead and like, subscribe, follow wherever you're watching me. Do whatever you need to do to keep up with all the things that I have going on. This is just going to get better and better, you guys. I feel like everything I'm doing is really just laying a foundation, but really I know that it's building, and I know that I probably can't see the full structure right now because I've just been in build mode. And so if you see that, you acknowledge that, then help me build by becoming a part of what I'm building, part of this community. So like the video, share the video, and then let other daughters know that we're doing these sessions to help you to also write your story, tell your story, tell the truth. I don't even want to say tell your truth. I want to say tell the truth. Okay. So I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all later. Make sure y'all check out the link in the chat for the decision audit. Next time I'm going to put the decision audit for those who are trying to decide the dynamic between their toxic parent. Do they need to cut contact? Do they need to limit contact? What their movement is going forward, what they need to do going forward. So anyway, y'all, it's early, it's late, it's all the things, so I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But I love you guys, and remember, you are important to me. I need you to survive. Tell the truth, daughter. Bye bye for now.